This is Show Up as a Leader, a show from PeopleForward Network, helping you maximize your positive impact on the world by becoming your best, fully authentic self. Hey everyone, it's Rosie. I am really jazzed to be adding my friend Claire Chandler to the lineup of great content on Show Up as a Leader. She is the founder of Talent Boost, and she just does incredible work on advising leaders on how to grow their business with intention, with purpose. And her new series that she's launching on the show is called Growth on Purpose. I've had her on as a guest a few times, cannot wait for her to bring her wisdom, her humor, and all that is Claire into this feed. She is going to be providing you with a framework and practical actions that you can lean on to be intentional with yourself, to be intentional with your teams, intentional with your business, and really building a sustainable ecosystem with your talent so that you're ultimately future-proofing your workplace. Take a listen.
Hey there. Welcome back to the Growth on Purpose podcast series, where we are sweeping out all the head junk that's getting in the way of your business growth so you can finally expand your business without losing your best talent. I'm your host, Claire Chandler, founder of Talent Boost and leadership therapist to world-class organizations and purpose-driven leaders around the world. So clear your calendar, turn off your notifications, and be fully present for this conversation, because we are about to get real. Today, we're going to go deeper on the first of the 4 pillars of the Growth on Purpose model, which is aspiration. In our last episode, I totally depressed you about the cost of having the weak aspiration pillar, where you're not attracting enough of the right talent, so you're burning too many calories, weeding through wrong fit candidates, and settling for the wrong hires. And every time you hire the wrong person or delay finding the right one, you dilute your employer brand, which makes it even harder to attract people into your world. If you completed the Growth on Purpose scorecard, take a look at your current score on the aspiration pillar. The lower your score, the more value you're leaking out of your business. If you didn't do the scorecard yet, just remember it's free. It takes about 5 minutes. And you'll find it at growthonpurpose.com/assessment. In last month's episode, I also talked about the distinction between conviction and convincing. The weaker your employer brand and the more disconnected you and your fellow leaders are from why you're in business in the first place, the less able you are to communicate with your employees and other key stakeholders with conviction, and instead have to resort to trying to convince people why they should join your team or do business with you. But at the end of last month's episode, I also left you with a promise that it can get better, and that attracting the right people into your orbit can be easier. You just need to learn how to bottle up the magic. This is all about gaining aspirational clarity, and then converting that clear aspiration into a magnetic message. So first, let's get you clear on your aspiration. Your aspiration is your purpose in action. It's a combination of your mission, your vision, and your values. Your mission is what you're holding yourself accountable to be every day, while your vision is what you're striving to become. It's why you're in business in the first place. And your values are how you demonstrate your commitment to your business and your employees. It's your what, your why, and your how. Put another way, your mission pushes you, your vision pulls you, and your values keep you from veering off the road. I read that quote somewhere years ago, and it stayed with me. These are the fundamental elements of your purpose, your what, your why, and your how, and they're the foundational building blocks of your culture. They're not nice to haves. They're not some flowery language you post on your company website so outsiders think you have a clue as to what you're doing and why they should pay attention to you. They are what propel your growth journey. Your what, Your why and your how are your brand promise. They are your measuring stick, and done right, they are what attract the right talent and customers into your world and keep away the wrong ones. Now, if it's been a while since you've looked at your mission, vision, and values, there's no better time than today. It's a brand new year after all, and it's a great time to do a gap analysis. And it's easier than you think, so stop overcomplicating this. Let's go on a little journey for a second. I want you to take a moment to think back to when you first joined your company. Why did you join? What was it about the company, its brand, its reputation, its mission, its products and services that attracted you in the first place? When you think about that, what's coming up for you? Now, unless you're driving or operating other heavy machinery right now, take a minute to jot down some words or phrases that come to mind when you think about why you originally joined your current company. And now, if you've been with your current company for more than a day, you've made a conscious decision every day since then to keep coming back. Why is that? What makes you stay? And don't say it's because you make gobs of money and don't need to work too hard. What is it about what you get to do and who you get to do it with and the problems you get to solve that keeps you coming back? When you consider those questions, what's coming up for you? Add some of those words and phrases to the list. When's the last time you actually asked yourself those questions? And now to press on that bruise just a little bit. When's the last time you asked your employees or your customers or your clients, especially the ones you would love to attract more of, those same questions? If the answer is somewhere between I can't remember and never, it's no wonder why you're struggling to retain your top talent and your favorite customers, let alone acquire more of them. Several years ago, I was working with an executive leader of a global environmental company, and he was telling me how he and his fellow executives had just wrapped up a roadshow where they had been communicating their newly updated mission, vision, and values. And so I said, tell me about the experience. What was it like? What was your process? And he said, well, we went out, we hit every employee location, we communicated out the mission, the vision, and the values. We feel really good about it. We reached every employee location we could. I said, that's great. Would you mind if I play that back for you? He said, sure. And I said, so you went out? He said, yeah. And you communicated out? He goes, yeah. And I said, how did you confirm that the employees got it? How did you have them report back to you and to the other executive leaders what they believed your mission, vision, and values to be? Crickets. You can't communicate your mission, your vision, your values in one direction without confirming that it resonates with the people you're expecting to deliver on those promises. Understanding what keeps you coming back day after day and what your top talent finds most meaningful about their experience with your company is vital to closing the gap between what your brand promises and what your culture delivers. So spend time on this. Walk around. Talk to your employees. As you interact with your clients and customers, ask them what keeps them coming back. Listen for themes in what they tell you. Use those themes, those patterns, those words and phrases that keep coming up to make sure your mission, your vision, and your values are still relevant and resonating. And then update your talent value proposition. Now, most companies, and I'm sure you're the same, call this their EVP or their employer value proposition. But I want to challenge you to change that wording to talent value proposition or TVP. This is the promise you make to prospective employees about all the great benefits and experiences and rewards they can expect if they decide to join your company. You want to make sure your employer brand not only aligns more closely with your actual organizational experience, but that it also emphasizes those parts of your culture that your top talent finds most appealing, so that more of the right talent will find it appealing too. This is crowdsourcing at its finest, and never underestimate the power of that. Remember, the best leaders don't have all the answers. They're just really good at asking better questions and actually listening to the responses. Let me say that again. The best leaders don't have all the answers. They're just really good at asking better questions and actually listening to the responses. The beauty of refreshing your mission, vision, and values and your talent value proposition is that you can work on them in either order, iteratively, until they flow into and reinforce each other. And if you invite your top talent to participate in the process, in the building of these cultural elements, you'll build employee buy-in and commitment as you go. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doing this upfront work feels time-consuming. But I assure you, it actually will accelerate your ability to attract the right talent, because these provide the key ingredients in what's called a message map. If you tuned into my earlier episode in this series titled Shift Happens, you'll recall that I talked about the 4 Ps of culture. Let me just recap those very quickly. The first 3 Ps of people, process, and performance come together around the nucleus of the 4th P, which is purpose. Now, when different people throughout your business over-index on only one of those 3 outer Ps, people or process or performance, they widen the disconnect and misalignment in your organization. And what typically happens is your chief HR officer focuses on people, the who in your business. The COO focuses on process, or how your business operates. And the CFO focuses on performance, or what outcomes, usually financial, your business generates. And that works for a while, but over time, those distinct lanes veer off into their own directions. But when you apply the lens of purpose, why your business exists, those lanes come together in beautiful harmony. Now, I hear you. That's all great in theory. But how do you apply the lens of purpose in practice? How do you bring all of these elements together to strengthen your aspiration pillar and attract more of the right talent? The message map is a great vehicle for doing just that, for weaving the what, why, and how of your business together in a way that everyone can get behind. Now, if you've done the work to update your mission, vision, and values, and to define your talent value proposition, mapping out the key messages that will resonate with key stakeholders within and around your business becomes a lot simpler. The message map is a 1-page set of talking points that helps you and your fellow leaders to communicate with clarity, consistency, and conviction. Remember the distinction between conviction and convincing? This is going to help cure you of that whole need to try to convince and sell people on your vision. It funnels your mission, vision, and values and your talent value proposition into key messages that resonate with different target audiences depending on what matters most to them. I'm going to take you through the concept of the message map. If you email me at claire@talentboost.net, I will send you a simple template you can use to create your own message map. But let me walk you through the concept. So in the top left corner of the page is a spot for your talent value proposition. Now, if you have a fairly extensive, wordy TVP, don't try to cram it all into this space. Just sort of put your top line of your talent value proposition into that space, just so you can capture it here. Beneath that are spaces for your why, your how, and your what. Now, the simplest way to fill in those 3 spaces, and will get you started right away, is to put your vision in the why box, your values in the how box, and your mission in the what box. This is your opportunity to use your aspiration, your mission, vision, and values, your talent value proposition, your what, why, and how, to inspire your organization and everyone in your orbit. Once you get really good at putting these maps together, you're going to find yourself using them everywhere in your organization when those messages really matter, especially in your change management process. So like if you're mapping out a significant project or initiative and need to get everyone on the same page, in that scenario, you would change out the talent value proposition with your problem statement and the why, how, and what spaces with more project-specific content. Happy to talk with you offline about how you can apply that. But for now, don't worry about that. Don't overcomplicate that. let's use this format and this concept for your overarching growth strategy. So we've got about 1/4 of the page filled now. You've got your talent value proposition in the top left. Beneath that, you've got your what, why, and how. About 75% of the page is taken up by columns for each of your key stakeholder audiences. These are, you could think of maybe job candidates, so people you're trying to attract into your organization. Current employees, because after all, we want to retain them, right? We want to engage them at a higher level. We want to deepen their conviction and their commitment. People managers could be a key stakeholder audience for you. And then, of course, customers or clients. Maybe you lump them together. Maybe they are distinct and separate. Maybe only one of them is relevant. And you can expand this to as many different stakeholder audiences as you want. But for now, keep it simple and pick like your top 3. At the top of each stakeholder column, you're going to want to capture the bottom line message you want to convey to that audience that reinforces your talent value proposition. This is, again, the brand promise you're making to them and need their help to deliver. Then beneath each of those key messages, there's space for you to break down that message into talking points that reinforce your why, how, and what. I know all of that feels overwhelming, especially if you don't have a template in front of you. But think back to the words and the phrases you jotted down earlier during this conversation when I asked you why you joined your company and why you stay. When you repeat that exercise with your top talent, your people managers, your customers and clients, you can weave the themes from those conversations and exercises into key messages that resonate with those different target audiences. Again, you want to use the why, the how, and the what to inspire. And you want to use the key messages on this map to challenge each of your stakeholder audiences to buy into your mission, vision, and values and do their part to fulfill them. Think of the message map as your organizational songbook. When every leader uses the same message map to deliver messages to their teams and other stakeholders, they reinforce rather than dilute your growth journey. When you commit to using the map like this, you eliminate employees and customers answer shopping. And instead, your leaders communicate with consistency, clarity, and confidence from a place of conviction rather than a place of convincing. That is how you convey a magnetic message. A message that resonates with the right talent at the right time, and that gives them a reason to believe in you so that they line up at your door, bought into your mission, your vision, and your values, eager to contribute to your growth journey. I'd love to hear how this conversation landed for you. Again, you can email me at claire@talentboost.net. I read every email. I respond to every email. What was your biggest takeaway from this episode? Or what was your biggest burning question? If you got inspired by this and accept the challenge of refreshing your mission, vision, and values or your talent value proposition, and I really hope you did, feel free to send me what you drafted. I'd be happy to give you some early feedback, some early reaction, and maybe even some guidance. And when you email me, I will also send you that easy-to-use template for building your own message map. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep going, keep growing, and do it on purpose.
I'm Rosie Ward, and this is Show Up as a Leader. To learn more, head over to PeopleForwardNetwork.com and, of course, hit that follow button.